So we are out here in Elk Grove and we're investigating for a really lovely family. It's a bustling household full of, all sorts of wonderful relatives, and they had some activity previously. We've done a cleansing here with another team, and now we're at the point where everything was quiet and suddenly there's been an uptake, and they need to know what's sort of started all this, or what's causing it, how to fix it, where do we get resolution. And I immediately noticed, as I was explaining to them some of our just basic procedures, some sort of mist running through this area and through this room and through this hall and into this front door area. About yay high, sort of dark mist. So a little bit around close to our height-ish, but a little bit taller, and just really quickly ran by. I sense the number 3 and the number 5 are coming to my mind, so I'm going to hold those two numbers and to figure out what those mean. I don't know yet. There is definitely at least 2 male energies that I'm picking up on initially, so I need to figure those 2 out. And some old lady.
What the heck?
Right back, right back.
Uh-huh.
Oh, thank God. It's okay in here.
Yeah, it is.
I was so scared. This is where the problem was last time. I don't feel it this time.
Good.
So it's coming from somewhere else, which I need to find. Brent, do you want to come feel this? I think remember this is where we had issues, but I don't feel the same. I don't feel the same energy that I did last time. It's completely different.
It is completely different.
Isn't it though? It feels completely different than the first time we came in.
I don't feel a portal, I feel a presence.
Yeah, but it feels like this is like where the little old lady is located. Now this feels like a protected space, whereas the first time we came in with spies, and I just saw a giant blob right there. So yeah, this room had a lot of very, very difficult, dark, weird, portally energy. It feels a lot better and protected in here this time around. So that's a fabulous comfort. But now I have to actually figure out where the issue is. That entry hallway was real.
Isn't that weird?
That was real jacked. Same thing, John?
Yeah, I got a big ass orb.
Oh, good. I like big.
Oh, goody. Ooh.
It's hitting in the third eye. Something in the third eye. Is
Really
just,
impressive.
it's really intense. Like I feel weird in here. It isn't. It's not necessarily that it's negative, but it's extremely intense on the third eye. So I'd like to explore that.
No more blurry pictures, I'll tell you what.
Good.
Not with this then.
I feel like this. I feel very like shoved into a space and just and like afraid and like praying, and like I get this real intense sensation, like just hiding and fear, immense sadness and fear. I'm gonna have to ask them about that. It's not right. It's not okay. It's not. The fear is. You can almost taste it in this room.
It's really awful. Oh boy.
It's not.
Not do that.
It's up in here. Yeah, it's my ears hurt in here. I get a lot of earaches and ear pressure. Do you ever feel any pressure, like headaches? Because I feel a lot of like pressure. It's almost like in the ears and like right in here. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of intense pressure.
Hmm.
It's a little uncomfortable.
Slightly.
Yeah, it's very kind of like when you're like in an airplane.
Mm-hmm. And you feel that pressure? Yeah.
That sort of popping sensation. Well, we'll be back with gadgets to figure out why there's. We have a meter that checks barometric pressure. We'll check your barometric pressure.
There's a misty, unless that's your arm.
Let me see. Yeah. Came through the front door.
Oops, goddamn it.
It came right through the front door, huh?
I knocked my phone down too.
We need blooper reels.
I know.
Right.
Oh, God.
Oh man. So now that I've sort of. Oh, okay. Well, you want me to come here?
Okay.
All right. Oh. I hear Bohemian Rhapsody.
Interesting.
I
As soon as you said it, I mean, I can't claim that that's paranormal, but as soon as you said it, that tune came instantly to my mind.
There's something specific. The dead guy is trying to tell me something, and I hear Bohemian Rhapsody.
And I hear the chorus.
Yeah. Oh.
What?
Take on me, never go.
I saw a foot.
Wow.
I saw a foot.
There is a footprint there. I don't know if it might be John's, but
No, but I
I
saw.
wasn't standing over there.
No, he didn't go. No, he didn't go that far.
Yeah.
I saw a foot.
Great.
Like
Random
literally.
body
definitely
parts.
a footprint there.
Huh. Oh, that's.
Apprehension, severe apprehension. The stomach bothers me.
Very nervous.
Very, yeah, lots of apprehension and nerves. A lot of love. This is where I crossed one dead guy over the last time.
In the closet?
In the closet. Yeah, that guy's not here. He's not here. I don't know who he was, but he's not here. It's okay when I say it, I get touched. So who's here this time? What are you? So they touch me. Very childlike. Very,
Tentative little touches.
yeah, like
I just felt that on my arm too.
yeah, very, very gentle touches.
I'm feeling it on my arm as we speak.
Yeah, but very sweet. Just
Very sweet.
Just like,
It's like just little
Yeah.
baby touches.
yeah, very small touches.
Just, pardon me.
Flashes.
I still got a touch in my hand. Hello?
Knocking in there?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like it's moving around. It's moving around. It's a lot of motion, movement. So some of the energy that I kind of picked up on, it's definitely different than last time. Like I felt this small energy sort of touching my arm and
Almost
touching
childlike.
my hand. Yeah, almost childlike or very effeminate, touching my hand. And then it moved over and touched Wendy's arm. And that's not something that I felt before. And then I definitely saw somebody running by in that front entry, in that hall, in that whole front room and all of that. And then, I mean, there's lots of carpet feet prints all over, so we can't really be sure. But right where I saw a foot running, we looked down and there was a print right there. So, I mean, it could have been left by a living person earlier, but just the timing was a little unique.
Yeah.
And her room is quiet now. It had a lot of issues the last time, and it was horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It actually feels very protective. There seems like to be like a little old lady just sitting in there, kind of, guarding, watching. It seems very, very nice and very protected.
Sure.
So I don't feel an open portal. I don't feel anything in that room at all.
Okay.
The other room right next to it, I felt a lot of pressure on my third eye. It felt draining, like psychically draining. And it was very weird. Like, it wasn't a negative darkness, but it was just like sucking and pulling and like threads pulling out of my forehead. It was a very strange sensation.
That's the newly occupied room.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know.
The front room, talking about?
Yeah. So I don't know if there's any kind of reason that there would be sort of energy vampirism going on, or something would be trying to suck energy out of either of them. But it's not comfortable. So I definitely want to do something about it to make it feel better. The empty bedroom, I had a horrible feeling of fear in there. I felt backed into the corner, and I felt fearful and tearful, and I felt myself in the position of praying and hiding in a corner. And I don't know why I had that sensation, but that is how I felt in that room.
He's the one that's, has gone, the youngest son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would he ever report any reason to be fearful in there? Did he say anything about being fearful?
No, he did. The very first time when they came out, he said that he would wake up a couple times. He said it was sleep paralysis, but that he felt grabbing of his legs and that kind of thing.
That would be a little fear-inducing. I would actually think.
Being held down. Is
Yeah,
not good.
because it just felt very like somebody in prayer trying to make something go away.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sensation that I felt in that room.
Right.
Like, please make it go away, please make it go away. And that's the feeling that I had in there. And then your other son's room, I felt like I was in an airplane. I felt a huge amount of ear pressure and like head pressure and sinus pressure. And just walking through, like in your guys' room, like I said, I felt that one little touch. I felt a lot of stomach pain and apprehension, but I don't feel anything dark.
Well, right now I have stomach pain. I'm having my ulcer issues come back up.
Oh dear.
no.
Yeah, like in the past week and a half.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Well, then that
That explains that.
explains that feeling.
Yeah.
Because I will empath whatever the living people put into a space. I'll start to feel that in my own body, and so I'm sorry you're feeling that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually the last time I had it was when the last time this was happening.
Yeah. So that makes sense why that would rile me up and everything. And I think a lot of it, we're definitely going to want to kind of document just the variety of different areas and hotspots that we've already felt, areas that you feel uncomfortable, you've heard or seen things, and just sort of get a good baseline for what's happening and maybe why. But most of all, just rectifying the situation that seemed to be the prime, target of it. But we want to hit it in the right way. Therefore, that's why the documentation is important. So we use the right cleansing materials and the right energy that we're going after it, if it's dark, if it's not dark, if it's just a confused or lost spirit, whatever the situation may be, we want to approach it in a proper way. Well, one thing I did hear in the front row was Bohemian Rhapsody.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was a really weird, all of a sudden, poof, like the, part of the chorus started playing in my mind.
And as soon as you said that, the chorus is what I heard in my mind. I didn't hear it before you mentioned it. So, but then it was like, like you hear somebody hear a song, you're like, how does that go again? It wasn't like that. It immediately came to me when you said
Which
that.
lines?
Pull the trigger, now he's dead.
Oh, yeah, that's the end.
Mama, I heard it directly in my head, sitting in that front room. I haven't heard Bohemian Rhapsody in a long time. That's sort of what I felt overall throughout the space, and then they felt little bits and pieces.
We had a footprint at the base of that chair essentially appear in front of us. It wasn't there. 1 second it wasn't there, and then 1 second it was, and it wasn't one of us because it was right in front of that chair, heading out of the chair, and we were all facing. So that was
And then
odd.
right after I said it, I saw a foot walk by. Just a fragment of a person just flitting
Yeah.
by, and so. I can't be conclusive about it. Anecdotally, and it's for a personal experience, for us is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Those are our starter things. This is just the beginning of what we have to do. and how we need to look through everything and break down everything and kind of figure it all out.
Kind of know our
So,
spots, yeah.
yeah.
I didn't feel a portal in that far back to the left bedroom where we kind of felt the portal the first time. I didn't feel any portal, but I did feel energy in there. I felt a presence, and it seemed like a female presence, but that's the most I got. So it seems like, and it may be protective, just kind of hanging over that room. Didn't seem bad to me, but I did not feel a portal in there.
No, I didn't either. It feels completely sealed. I do recall sealing the living hell out of it last time, so
Yeah.
I am glad that it.
Yeah, it's just strange that we've had, what, 10 months? About 10 months of nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely nothing. And then all of a sudden, just starts up.
it just cracked wide.
And I've
open.
noticed more this time, because I didn't really before notice very much, but it just seems like a few weeks ago, because I do a lot of cooking, and I sit here to read, and I keep looking down that hall because I keep seeing a little flash across the top of my glasses, so I keep looking,
Yeah,
and that's unusual. I haven't noticed that ever before.
Right.
And then
it feels different than the last time.
and then I have just this morning. I think it was just early this morning or yesterday morning. I can't remember.
Oh, both of us are knocking.
Knocking on the door. All right.
Before I got up.
Oh,
What?
Really?
Knocking
wow.
on the door. Nobody's there.
Wasn't that nice?
But she's had a lot more already. Just all kinds of love.
Somebody's trying to get your attention.
At least they knocked.
Yeah, that was polite.
Some of the energy, that's what I get the impression. It's like there are spirits that are looking for something, or looking for help, or looking for whatever it may be. And, we are obviously aware that many of the females in your family have a sensitivity level and an ability. And so that can, when there's a new something that draws and, energy, opens the rift in the energy, you being a lighthouse will kind of say, oh, well, look, that house can come, help me. Let's come over there and see if those people can do something about it. And the good thing about it is, in a way, is because you do become aware of it rather quickly, and you call for help rather quickly. So if there are spirits that are stuck or need some kind of help, we can quickly address that and sort of fix some of it. But like I told you on the phone, you're never going to be 100% paranormal free in your life, not as a sensitive. It's not, it's not a choice that we really have. You can lower it, you can change you can have boundaries, you can have healthy boundaries, just like you would with the living. But you're not going to have zero activity, not with this many gals through the generations that have some sort of sensitivity or ability. It's not ever going to be zero. But what it can be is under your rules and your boundaries and with your comfort level, to where you're not feeling all creeped out and antagonized.
Oh,
Time for you to kind of explain what are some of the experiences you were having based on what we picked up. What did we pick up that rings true to you? What rings bells for you? And what have you had happen?
Right, and I told Melissa that around Christmas time, 2 doors down, a male killed himself right outside on the card. And I had just missed it because I had come home and the garage door
Oh,
opened.
wow.
And as I was getting out of my car, I heard a woman screaming. And I rushed in the house because I thought it was my daughter. And I said, what happened? Were you screaming? She's like, no, we're, whatever, watching TV. And I said, I heard a woman screaming. I sat down, I changed my clothes, and then like 5 minutes later, a police officer is knocking at the door, and they're like, did you hear anything? And I'm like, why? What happened? And they're like, oh, somebody needed medical attention, but they had tape, and we didn't find out till later in the day that this person walked out to their car and shot himself
Oh, no.
and killed himself.
Oh, that's terrible.
And I said, oh my gosh.
I heard it was on the news.
Oh,
Oh
See,
yeah.
I didn't. Yes, I knew there was a suicide, but I didn't know
He was,
how
like, right
he did it. So
so close.
Right, and then when you said Bohemian Rhapsody in that particular
yeah,
No,
Yeah.
my assumption would have been, an OD or whatever, but the fact that I heard that
What
song.
was really kind of creepy about it too is the car stayed there right along 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Sakes.
Did he shot himself?
In the car.
And they left it just sitting there with all the. Oh.
I guess they cleaned it. We didn't look. I didn't get close to it. But it was
Right.
That's
you
just
knew.
that's just terrible.
Yeah.
And it was after that, like the beginning of the year, that I started seeing and hearing, that kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
that's
His act ripped open the fabric and the spiritual fabric in the area, and you guys being lighthouses rekindled what had been shut down.
And then I also shared with Melissa, my job, I was home health nurse, and I switched from home health to the same company on the hospice side. So
oh
in
yeah.
November, I started working with with hospice patients, and obviously I have people that died.
Right, right.
Yesterday.
Fields that are just really, really hard for empaths or mediums or other sensitives to work in, psychiatry and psychology, anything hospice, nursing, emergency room. There's the morgue, wherever. There are certain jobs that are just difficult, that draw in that energy.
And the one that just passed away Friday, as a matter of fact, family was there and the aide was there, and I told her she's still here, And then right when I said that, her bed thing fell on the floor.
No.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I told you. I could
She's still kicking around.
She was.
Wow, it's so interesting.
Well, yeah, she was making her transition and she was trying to, say her goodbyes to everybody,
Right.
and that's a gift.
Yeah.
That's something that can really be used to help. But yeah, you're gonna have to set up some really solid boundaries with the other side because you're gonna have way too much going on, and that's gonna be inundating and overwhelming for all of you. I mean, especially since you're not as sensitive, but you're seeing and feeling things too. So it's like it's obviously kind of coming to a head a little bit if you're feeling it.
Yeah.
So then late, mostly everyone's just been hearing knocking, like the room where my son and his fiance. She definitely heard right above by the window. She said that knocking on. She was like,
What's
I didn't know that.
oh yeah.
So bizarre.
Mostly knocking, but when he was out of town for a couple days out of the state, that's when I felt it touch my leg after I got in bed, and I was like, oh my gosh, don't let me sleep,
Did it leave you alone after you told it to?
It did.
Good.
And then the next night, though, because he was gone for like 4 nights, the next night I was sound asleep and I heard the loudest crash. I thought we had an earthquake or something.
Oh wow.
I jumped out of bed and turned on the light, and it was at 4 a.m. and there was nothing on the floor except my little smudge spray, which I had been spraying, like since he's been gone, like even more. And I was like, how did that make that big? Because I'm not a sleeper,
No.
and it sounded like somebody just went shoo, swiped everything off my dresser.
At the very least, being grounded or just smudging yourself frequently.
Right.
Anything you can do to control your energy or be aware of your energy, that when you're anxious, even if you have to count to 10 or smell a good essential oil or do something to get your brain to reboot so you don't launch energy that's going to affect your environment. Because if you keep launching fear energy into your environment repetitively,
It's going to create its own swirl.
it can become an entity of its own. That's not ideal. So, did you
Just,
see a thing?
it's just odd.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Very
There's a
odd.
lot of activity, and I heard 3 and I heard 5, and so I don't know what either of those numbers mean yet, but I'm trying to figure them out.
Thoughts closet because again another incident. It was in the morning. I had taken a shower and I was sitting down looking at my computer to figure out what my schedule was for the day, and I heard a little rattling in his closet, and I was like, "What?" And
That's where I got touched.
Right as I was like listening, I
Yeah.
heard something fall to the ground. So I went in his closet, and just a little while, was on the ground, and I was like,
There's a young spirit in there. It's I don't know who it is or I can't figure it out.
Or why or what, but
Yeah, but that was where we got the little gentle touches.
it was
Wendy
just
and I,
really,
right in his
really
closet.
light little. Yeah, it was really kind of sweet.
Very non-aggressive, but definitely present. So I don't know if somebody, maybe it's a land-based thing, or somebody in the neighborhood lost, a child or something to that effect. But it was a very young energy that just touched me, and then walked over to Wendy and touched her.
It was
So
like,
I'm
oh,
feeling, yeah, it didn't feel negative.
Not at all.
I know I had felt a male energy before, but he's not here. The one we felt the last time, I don't feel him at all.
I don't sense any portals.
And I don't really sense any portals, but what I do sense is that death down the street
Yeah, that's very
did
prevalent.
slice a little slit in the energy barrier, and
oh yeah, and then our neighbor was doing their renovations,
yeah.
and they were just there yesterday.
This is the other thing that'll do it too.
Yeah. And so that could be it's basically the perfect storm. You're a bunch of sensitives here. You've got a death down, a couple doors down. You've got construction next door. You've got all these things sort of just conglomerating. And then the fact that you are traveling more, so your protective presence is less available. And it just becomes sort of a cacophony of
Funkery.
Yeah, and I really want to know who, what, where, why, how, some EMF readers out. I just want to do a whole walkthrough again through the house with all the meters and just find if there's any anomalous spots that give off readings that are not kosher.